Our true and only nature is the absolute existence of Brahman, Shiva. That has no difference, ever. The reality is this undifferentiated existence. It is not only of an undifferentiated nature in terms of things, but it is without difference at any time. So it is without parts and without modifications, without birth and death, and free of multiplicity. Differences are merely imagined. The difference between you and that Brahman is merely imagined. The differences of beginning and end, birth, life, and death, are merely imagined. All kinds of differences are merely imagined and have as their imaginary starting point the assumption of individuality, the I thought, as the Maharshi refers to it. It is the notion, the bare supposition, that your existence is individualized. All other differences follow from there. Imagination upon imagination. So if there is this first difference, in supposition only, of I, then there will be such differences as Jagat, Jiva, Para, the universe as distinct from oneself, the individual being, and the Supreme, the Absolute, will also be viewed as if something different, even though it is a contradiction to say there is the Absolute and there is difference. The differences are merely imagined, a product of delusion. The actual existence remains unchanged, unaltered at any time. Misidentify with what is merely imagined as an I, as if embodied. And all kinds of worries and troubles start from there. To reclaim the perfect fullness of bliss and peace, we have only to know the existence, your very existence, as it is. Who am I? That is the question to ask. To ask in the deepest possible manner, who am I? If you are different from your existence, which sounds silly even to say such, if you are different from that existence, there are differences everywhere. But are you different? Are you the individual? Name and form, the perceived and the conceived, are not your actual existence. Among the conceived, there are differences. Among the perceived, there are differences. Bodies and minds are characterized by differences. But what of existence itself? Disidentifying from name and form, the perceived and the conceived, what is your actual being? Tomorrow night is Mahashivaratri. And if you're here in the temple, you will hear a good amount of Shivoham and Shivosmiham, meaning I am Shiva. But what does that actually mean? I am not the jiva, the individual, I am Shiva. What does that mean? It is a statement to be realized. If the real nature of I, yourself, is actually Shiva or Brahman, and has always been that, for reality never changes its nature, what then? What becomes of all your ideas, experiences, memories, etc.? What becomes of a dream after one is awakened? In the undifferentiated reality, the self, no doubts arise, no perplexity occurs. There is never a loss in the perfect fullness. One who realizes such is completely satisfied. And the one who has realized such is no longer a one, for he has lost his false sense of separate individuality. So we might as well say, Shiva is Shiva. Brahman is, after all, Brahman. You are yourself. Inquire, who am I, until every last trace of even the possibility of difference has vanished. In that eyeless true eye, the egoless self, there is neither birth nor cessation. There is neither bondage nor a state of becoming free. To attain the ever-present liberation, know yourself. Not a name, not a form, not something sensed, not something conceived. Certainly not a body then, not the senses. Not the mind or any part thereof. Not even the illusory idea of I. If you go on inquiring in this way, who am I? To know what your actual existence is, you will find that it is without difference, without another, and without difference at any time. The knowledge of one's true being is perfect happiness.